guys, it's Kristine with Queen City Stamp Art, and welcome back for day 5 of the Christmas in July Stamp Along series. I hope you've enjoyed the project so far. Today I have one final project that is a really cute flat treat holder. It's kind of specific to chewing gum, but I think you could adapt it to put other types of flat treats in there too, like maybe a Kit Kat bar or some other type of candy bar, as long as it was kind of flat. So let's go ahead and get into the project, and I'll share the last project of the series. Okay, so before we get into the current project for today, I just wanted to mention a little, or have a few words about treats in general. The folks who received the project kits from me as a gift with purchase also received a little treat holder that had some of these little Werther original soft caramel candies inside. And all I did was take a glassine bag and I created a little tag using an old Stampin' Up punch. And I used the dies that we're using from the, let's see here, the dies that we're using from the Label Me Grateful dies. I used the flower and a sprig from this die set to decorate the little tag, and I used a little thank you from an older stamp set that I have that just says thanks. And I took a mini clothespin, I glued that all together, added one of those little druzy gems in silver, and then I took a glassine bag, which I got from Amazon. These measure, let's see, I think they're 3 by 4. Yeah, 5. Yeah, they'd be like the 3 by 5 inch size, I think. These are little food safe glassine bags. And I just put 3 of these little caramel candies in here. They fit perfectly. I only had 2 left though after I did them for everyone. And then folded the top down, added the tag, and then took a little tiny miniature clothespin from the Dollar Tree and decorated the bag. And then this went into the box with the pre-cut kits for this workshop. I love to include a treat whenever I send a kit. And this was such an easy treat to put together. I use this treat idea a lot. Cello bags are also really fun. If the wrapper had been red or some festive Christmas color, I would have probably put this in a clear cello bag and did a similar topper for it, because I love to incorporate the packaging of the treat if I can. But in this case, it was pink and I didn't want it to clash with the other colors, the Christmas colors. So I put it in a glassine bag so that it's not quite as visible. So if this is just another treat idea, if you're considering making treats like for coworkers, or you wanted to do some sort of like an advent kind of process where you're giving treats every day, this is another really cute treat idea. It would also be really cute for any kind of a dinner, like a book club dinner or something like that, where you need another type of favor. But I just wanted to talk about this for a minute because this is another really cute idea that you might be able to use around the holidays to complete some of your gift giving. And I'm here to share ideas, and so that's what that was about. So I just wanted to share that. And now we can go right ahead and get into the next treat. Now this is called a flat treat pouch, and I'm going to show you how we make this, but I'll just give you a closer look at what we're making. We're creating a belly band to go around the pouch to hold it closed, but basically it's a little pouch that holds a pack of gum or a flat piece of candy. Maybe a Kit Kat bar would fit in here. I don't know. You might have to adjust the measurements of it. But all I did was I took the modern oval punch. So if you have one of these, go ahead and grab it. And I took the modern oval punch to create the opening for the chewing gum pack. And this is the Trident 14 stick pack of gum. And my husband just picked this up for me at the grocery store when he went out. And it fits perfectly in there. It's a little bit of peppermint, which is always fun around the holidays. And you might be able to get the spearmint pack, which is green. And so that would be even more festive and look more along the lines of what you're trying to do for the holidays and make it, you know, more holiday colors. And so I'm going to show you how to make this cute little holder for the gum. And then we're going to decorate it with this adorable little belly band. And again, I'm using designer series paper from last year because I don't have any Christmas paper other than that. This is retired, but you can always just pull a little piece of retired paper from your stash or pull something current that has a red or green pattern that would coordinate with the project. Okay, so I'll talk you through the supplies and then we'll go ahead and get started. So again, I'm using the Jolly Holly stamp set. We're going to use the word joy from the stamp set to add to the little label. So I'm just going to pick that up with my block and that'll be ready to go. And then I'm also going to use the little holly again. Let me grab another block. Get this small block. So I can stamp that and color it. And then let me show you the pieces we're going to need. So you're going to want to cut yourself a piece of cardstock that measures 3 by 11 inches. And this will accommodate that chewing gum pack. And then, like I said, you'll want to get the modern oval punch if you have it. You may be able to get away with another type of punch shape. You'll just have to try it if you don't have the modern oval, but I'm using the modern oval for mine. And then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper that measures 11 by 1 inches. And I'm using a Christmas paper because you're going to you might be able to see both sides, and so that's why I wanted to incorporate that. You'll need a little scrap so that you can stamp and color your holly if you're using that stamp set, or whatever imagery you're going to put on the front of your decoration. And then you'll need a little panel to add your sentiment to. And I used a die cut from I think this is the Spotlight on Nature dies. This is one of the circles from that die set. And I will link that below, okay, in the comments, as well as all of these measurements. But just to give you an idea, if you're crafting along with me, what sizes you're going to need. So let's go ahead and we'll do the scoring on this piece and get that ready, and then we'll do some stamping and coloring. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer here, and we're going to lay the long edge against the top of the trimmer, and we're going to start with the 3 1/4 inch mark. So you're going to lay it at 3 1/4 inches, and that's where you're going to make your first score. Then you're going to score it at 3 1/2 inches, and you'll score again. And then we're going to open this up, and you're going to move it over to 7 1/4 inches and score, and then 7 1/2 inches and score. And that's it. 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 7 1/4, 7 1/2, and that's it. Now, you'll notice when you look at this that the section over here, the one on the left, is a little bit smaller than the section on the right. So the section on the left is the one that you want to punch. So we're going to pull in our punch here, and we're just going to slide this section in, the smaller one, all the way till it stops inside the punch. You want to center it side to side and then punch your hole, and you'll end up with that little scrap piece. Okay, and this becomes the little place where you slide your gum through. Now you're going to need a little piece of tear and tape, and you're going to want to add a strip of tear and tape beneath the oval toward the outside of your piece, so the bottom edge there. Okay, and we're just going to burnish this really well, and we're going to fold on the score lines, and these little score lines close together form a little bit of spacing so that when you put the gum pack in, the front of the holder lays a little bit more flat. It doesn't kind of hump up. So that's what that's all about. So let's go ahead and remove the release paper on the adhesive there. And we're just going to go ahead and I want to make sure this stands up a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and line that up side to side and glue it down there. And then we should be able to add our pack of gum. It should fit in there perfectly, just like that. And then when we close it, you've got this really cute little holder. So now we just need to make the belly band to hold it shut. So go ahead and grab a corner rounder if you have one. And I'm actually going to corner round these little edges just to make them a little bit cleaner just doing the 1/4 inch corner round. You can use any corner rounder just to give those a little bit of a rounded edge and a more finished look. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our strip of designer series paper and we are going to wrap that around the back of our holder here. And we're going to add some adhesive to it. And then wrap this piece around. Now we don't want it super tight because we want to be able to slide it on and off. So you just want to line it up so it's sort of hand tight. And I put a little bit too much adhesive on there, so I'm gonna have to rub that off so it doesn't stick. There we go. And then you have your little belly band all set. Now we're gonna decorate it. So let's go ahead and grab our ink. We're gonna use some red ink for the word joy. And we'll go ahead and stamp that on the circle. And I'm gonna leave just a little bit of room for my holly sprig at the top. So I'm just gonna kind of line this up, try and center that word a little bit. It's hard because it's in cursive, but I think that will look good. And then we'll take our black Memento black ink pad and we'll go ahead and add some holly to our little scrap piece so we can color it and cut it out. So just like that. And now I'm gonna pull in those markers that I had from one of the other projects. Same markers. I'm using Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to start with the light Cherry Cobbler to color in the berries. And if you're crafting along with me and you have this stamp set, you can go ahead and add any of the images to your design. It doesn't have to be the holly. If you prefer the bell or the poinsettia or the little sprig, you can go ahead and use those if you prefer. And then I'm going to add my my light Mossy Meadow, and I'm just going to color in the whole holly leaf. And then I'm going to take my dark, and I'm just going to go along the vein in the center there. And then I'm going to go back in with the light and just scribble over it, to fan out that color a little bit. And I think that looks great. And then we're going to take our scissors, our little snips, and we're going to go ahead and just trim this out of the cardstock. And you just want to leave a little white border along the edges of where you're cutting. And because you're mounting this to a white panel, this will help to hide any of the, you know, like cut lines that might be a little bit wonky from, you know, your hand cut design. So I'm just going to kind of buzz along the outside edge of this. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to add a dimensional to this. And I do have some baby ones. Whoops. Some baby dimensionals here. And I'm going to add one. I'll add two. One on each of the leaves. And then we'll add this little panel to the circle here, just to make it more festive. And then we're going to add this to our, I'm going to get some big dimensionals and I'm going to add a couple to the belly band itself. And then we'll center this little circle right on top of the belly band. Oh shoot, I was supposed to add ribbon. So let me take this off because I want to add the ribbon first. Luckily, those rub off pretty easily. So we're going to use some of this beautiful red ribbon, and we don't offer this anymore. Again, this is something I pulled from my holiday stash from last year. It's a good way to get some of your holiday supplies used up so you have capacity for new ones. And I'm just going to wrap some of this around and tie a bow, not too tight, but just like right here around the belly band. And just floof that up a little bit. And I'm going to get my little scissors that are good for ribbon. Oops, I did not cut that very well. And just trim that off nice. I have that one pair of scissors that I use only for ribbon, so that it doesn't look like I'm chewing the ribbon, because sometimes these can make it look a little chewed. So there's that, and now I'm going to add those dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right on top of the ribbon to kind of hold it in place like that. And now I'll remove the release paper and center this panel right on top here, just like that, just like this. And I love it. I think that looks great. And now you can see that all you have to do is slide that little belly band off, and you've got this adorable little treat holder that can hold your little pack of gum or whatever little treat or candy bar you want to put in there. And then if you wanted, you could even mount a little white panel in here, and that would measure, let's see, let's figure this out together right away. This one you could do it like 3 1/4 by like 2 3/4. So 3 1/4 by 2 3/4 on the inside. And you could stamp a sentiment and write a little message, a little happy holidays message if you wanted, or stamp one. So super, super cute. I love this little project. I think it's adorable, and I hope you do too. I think this would be a fun little stocking stuffer item for a teenager. You know, they always love their chewing gum, and it's a fun way to kind of dress that up a little bit if you wanted to. So I hope you enjoyed that. I actually hope you enjoyed the whole series. I think this was really fun, and I enjoyed sharing these holiday projects with you. I hope these projects have inspired your own creativity and will get you thinking about the holidays and how you can add a handmade touch to your holiday. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.